Jesus Christ here. I need all my peoples to hear me out, man. If you follow Kim, if you a Christian, if you a Muslim, if you down with Judaism, whatever, Hinduism, hear me out. Now I want to break down to y'all that gods are men, and men made up that goddamn word to make themselves supreme over one another. Now, if I can explain death to you, you have to give me at least 50% chance that I can explain other things to you. So let me explain to you how gods are men. And I'm going to use all the texts from the Enuma Elish to Kemshit all the way down to the Torah. The Bible, Quran, that's all Torah. Now, let's begin. Remember these African god names, because you need to know some African shit. But remember them because it goes with the point. But that's the main reason. Just remember them because you should know some black shit. So remember that. Remember Ta, remember Ra, remember Osar, Orset, Seti, Tahuti. I like to call them Thoth. It's so many of them I can't even remember. Heru, I like to call them horrors, because I'm an American. Now, remember those names. Now, according to the Enuma Elish, now don't let me lose you, because I don't care about none of the books. It's a big point I want to make at the end of this. Now, I use the Enuma Elish because everybody shit is in the Enuma Elish, names and all. So now, in the Enuma Elish, I'm explaining to you how the Anunnakis became the gods, and they made that word up. And I'm going to tell you how men begin to get kingship on earth. Because before that point, the Anunnaki are Ta, Ra, Osar. These people would be the people who had kingship. Because these are all the same people. Like, let's be clear. Enki is Ta. Marduk is Ra. Asar is Osar. Ace-2 is Orset. So on and so forth, man. I don't know how to pronounce these people's names. Nagingida is fucking Tahuti. On and on, man. Fucking Zazudra is Noah. Blase, blase. Now, when they left Sumeria, they came into Egypt. Before this point, in Egypt, when they got the civilization going, they was observing the moon. That's what the system was basically based on. The structure of the months, days, and things was based on the moon. When Marduk, which would be Ra, which would later become Amun, because they exiled him out of Egypt, and he became the unseen one for a small period. But Marduk changed it from observing the moon to observing the sun. So you got to understand, all of this stuff goes together. Now, supposedly in the Enuma Elish, according to the Enuma Elish, there was a nuclear battle. Marduk lost his right eye. So now I want to break down to you how. Now you can see on your own, if you want to read it, how men became gods. This is how. When the Anunnaki stopped taking kingship and they gave it to men because they had no choice to, because men became more than them and it was about to be a takeover anyway, then they became like gods to the men because they civilized them and they gave them the kingship. So whoever became the king of the land know who made him the king of the land. And he passed that info down. Yo, man, it was these motherfuckers, the gods. Men made that word up. When they was Anunnaki, when they came into Egypt, they became Neteru. That's what the Egyptians called them. The Chems. Whatever you want to call them. So we need to understand all of this, man. All these texts go together. And we need to stop making them religious and stop making them about God, because they really ain't got nothing to do with that. They just history for us to know the history of this earth, which really ain't gonna get you nowhere. Because all the knowledge and the secrets and the treasures that were in the text have already been removed. And they have already went out and searched and found most of this shit. Hitler and many men before him. So we gotta understand this is where all our technology come from. Whether you believe in chem shit, our technology and all this shit we working with now is from men reading these texts, the chem doctrines that's written on wall, and finding the treasures of the shit and then making sure they remove them parts. We gotta understand this is deep, man. All civilizations got treasures and wealth. And they go and they get that. So this shit is simple, man. We gotta stop worshiping men. These books, they don't got nothing to do with God. They just the history of men. Period. God is so much deeper than that. God ain't about worship me or worship that. You dealing with true Godship. The source of all. Don't think about shit like that. You in its reality. You ain't got nothing to do but go along with whatever it's got you going along with. See, you ain't got no choice of the matter if you an eternal spirit and live forever. That just go with the system. If you an eternal spirit, you can't kill yourself. Nobody else can kill you. You ain't got no control over that. Whoever can control that, that is the true God. That is a God where it don't matter if you worship it or not. You exist within its existence. It's not even aware or care if you worship it or not. You only be because of it. You are its conscious. So it's just too deep for y'all probably to follow, man. I get this shit on another type of level. Dark matter, sound, vibration. These things are like, if you want to get as close as you can get to God, look at those things. But God is like, it's just, either you get it or you don't get it, man. But at the end of the day, all this worshiping stuff and waiting on something to save you, this is bullshit. What you're supposed to do is give praise to the earth. Because this is where you are. This is where the body that you're operating in come from. Remember, you an eternal being. You're here on your experience. Why? Because the only way an eternal being can understand life is if it comes into this physical death to die, so it can understand life and say, okay, now when I know I live forever, it's cherishable, it's real. Because in the physical, I understood pain, death, age, and all of that stuff. These is things I would have never understood. Aging and dying and pain. A spiritual being can't feel that. Nobody in the spiritual is physically doing any dirt to anybody. No one's thinking of killing someone because no one's dying. So these thoughts are not conceived to a spiritual being. And this is why we have to come in like this now. So you figure the first spiritual beings probably were spiritual first, then became physical, then went back to being spiritual to understand what spiritual life and eternal life is. But probably now, a spirit probably starts off in the physical to avoid having to do the spiritual thing. You understand what I'm saying? Because even though energy is eternal, that doesn't necessarily mean that it can't be created. See, once energy is created, it never dies. But it is created. So you have to understand energy. You have to understand that a spirit is energy, conscious energy, that is aware that it is. So we probably start off physical first now, and then go into our spiritual. And some spirits probably come back, like a baby who died in its infancy. That spirit would probably come back. Why? Because it didn't get the full experience to say, I understand that we got eternal life. All he can understand is what a spirit who went through the full life and died tell him. Yeah, we do have eternal life. I did the whole shit. It was real. So this is why, we have to live in this physical. And this is why we need to stop worshipping ourselves, basically. It's absurd. It's your boy Jesus Christ. Your boy Jesus Christ. Classes is about to start soon.